Hi, this is Wade Whitmire again with the Road Wave, and we're here installing the unit that we just assembled at the shop. And this is the location the owner of the coach decided to install it at. So we set it in there. Next we're going to get the systems ready to install it. And one of the things we've done is open the low point drain as well as shut off the water pump. That's probably the first thing you need to do, is shut off the water pump, so that way you don't have any pressure you're dealing with. Hit the cold point, low point drain, and let the water run out, so when you cut the line to install it, you won't have any water in the basement of the coach. The next thing we're going to do is the crescent wrench that we told you earlier about. We're going to install the freshwater connection onto the pump. So let's do that next. One thing I've done is remove the high pressure fitting that we installed back at the shop, so that way we can easily put this PEX fitting onto the actual input side of the pump. You notice I'm not using any Teflon tape. This fitting has a bulb compression fitting, so it will seal against the end of this. And typically just thread it on. Doesn't have to be extremely tight, but this is where we're going to use the crescent wrench and give it a few more turns right after it snugs up tight, just to get a good compression on that bulb. So that's about 3 full turns after it's hit it and it's nice and tight. Just install this back on. You feel it connect, kind of snaps into place, and then hand tighten it back up. Okay, well, the nice thing about this coach is we've determined where we put the water pump is we have power and water lines easily accessible. And this is the water line. It's a cold water line coming from the water heater. And it's easy to determine. First of all, you got blue letters on this and red letters on the hot. So what we'll do next is we'll splice a T, put the T fitting in here, and come across this way with the PEX, come down and come up to the fitting here. Okay, so next we're going to, we finished installing the fitting that goes onto the end of the pump, and I've already kind of pre-cut a few pieces of the PEX tubing here, and we're going to assemble from here up to the water line. So this PEX tubing and the fittings we have provided, it is basically a snap fit. You'll notice I push that in, and now I can pull on it. You can see it's pulling against that fitting, that inner ring. So we're going to put that piece there. We're going to come off with a 90-degree elbow. We're going to push and make sure that it, pull back on it and make sure that it's good and tight. And then we're going to install next the water shut off. This valve is designed so that way if you're not using the pump system, go ahead and shut it off, and that way you don't have water going into the system. Pull on that one. Push, push, pull, make sure they're all good and tight, and you'll see that I've got that kind of cut for it to set just like that. And then we'll continue on up and catch into the water lineup. Kind of give you a little side note about the PEX tubing. It is very flexible. It's tough to actually bend it. The properties of it is to work great with heat. So if it's extremely cold outside, it's tough to make it from, you know, its shape that it was shipped to you in this way to where it is going to be straight and flexible to use. So if you just kind of work it a few times, you can make it into a straight pipe. So just work it with your hands a few times. If it's really cold, you might want to use a blow dryer or some type of heater, and you can hit the pipe with it, and it'll become more pliable and do what you want, it to do. So we have finished installing PEX tubing and another elbow up to the desired height to tee into the water line. So here's the tee, and we're going to do that next. Recommend having a rag, maybe something to catch a little extra water in, a glass. Even though the low point drains were drained, there's a possibility of having a little extra water. So I'm going to take the cutting tool. It wasn't much, but there's a little. The next thing you want to check to see is if there is flexibility, like there's some flexibility in this tube, not a lot in this one. The ideal thing is not to cut any of the remaining PEX up there, but just try to insert the tee. And now the tee is installed. We'll determine the length here. Got a piece of PEX to go from there to there, which is pretty simple. So we've got the plumbing roughed in, got the PEX, all the fittings in place, and you'll notice that this naturally kind of wants to hang right here, and you want everything to be plumb and level. If you'll notice, we raise it up to here. This is horizontal, that's horizontal, and this is pretty plumb right there. So you remember that red clamp that we put in the bag? This is a good place for that. Just kind of open it up and then wrap it back around the pipe. Take a screw. Just before you tighten it up, get it all positioned just to the right, just like that. And you'll notice everything's nice and won't slide up and down.